Alright guys, good morning and welcome to my vlog. Today, for Two Guys and a Mower, the video series that we're doing, this is episode 5. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk real fast about the week in review. So that's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then we're going to move into Q&A. So right now, let's go ahead and get started with episode 5. Let's talk about our week in review. Alright, so I kept really good notes on everything that we did this week as far as time and money, right? So Tuesday, we worked 8 until about 4:30, and we accomplished about 14 yards that day. I think we did 12 that day, and we had to carry forward 2 because of rain. We could have got those 2 done, and it would have been close to a 6 o'clock day, but would have put us well over 500. So we came up a little bit short, but we were still in the 400 range, right? And we carried those 2 over to the next day. So we got 8 to 4:30, 2 carried over to the next day, over $400. The next day, we did those 2, we made that up, and then we head out and we had 12 to do, but old boy had an appointment, so we had to cut that day short, so we ended that day at 3:30. But we still went over 400. If we did everybody, we would have been well over 500, but we did over 400 that day. So Tuesday, over 400. Wednesday, over 400. Thursday, we did another 12 yards. So we did 12, we did 10. Thursday, we did 12. And when we did that 12, again, over 400, and we were done by 4 in the afternoon. So you see, so far, we're not working very late. One day was 4:30, one day was 3:30, one day was 4. 2 guys and a mower, push mower, 21 inch, and we're getting these things done, and we're hovering close to $500 every day that we head out. And then same thing with Friday. Friday we ended close to 5. It was really close to 5 when we ended, and we did 12 yards. We had 13 on the schedule. I had to carry 1 forward. At 4:30, we called it quits because my ex-wife and kids were going to be at my house by 4:30, so she can go on and go to the minor league baseball game that she thought she was taking the kids to, but the kids said, nope, we want to go to Daddy's. So she had the tickets to go with her girlfriends, and they had to be there by a certain time. So, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, so we carried 1 over into Saturday. Old boy always worked on Saturday with me. He always does those 9 real small yards. So he did that 1 extra 1, and that was it. So, and then he also went and he spread out the pine straw on that one job that I went Saturday. I sprayed weeds at 2 houses, and I dropped pine straw bales off and bags of dirt off. He went, spread the dirt out in certain little areas that the customer requested. He spread the pine straw out. He mowed the 10 yards that needed to be mowed. So Saturday he worked his ass off, but he also got compensated quite well. So we got everybody done in a timely manner in the days that they would always get done anyways. Nobody wasn't able to be done within 24 hours of their normal due date. So that's not bad at all. And only 1 got pushed from Friday to a Saturday, and that was, like I said, that was kind of unforeseen that was coming up, and you know, and they didn't have to be pushed over, but I got a new account that day, and I wanted to take care of that customer too, and I didn't want to do them on a Saturday, so it was one or the other, and I don't want to work on Saturday, so I wanted to make sure that I was there for the new customer's job, because we've never done it before, and I don't, you know, he doesn't know exactly what to expect. I'm sorry, my camera's a little crooked right now. I guess my table's kind of like this, and it's kind of falling into the trap here, like. So, I don't know, whatever, just turn your head a little bit. Sorry about that. If you're watching me on a phone, turn your phone a little bit. You'll be okay. So, we busted 2,200, a little bit over 2,200 in the 5 days that the business worked with just the push mower. So, 2 guys and a mower, over 2,200 in income, never passed 4:30 a work day, and we did it Tuesday through Saturday. So even old boy yesterday was done right around 4:30, 4:45. Can't complain. So far, so good. You know what I'm saying? So when you're sitting there and you're thinking about it and you're like, man, well, what can we do? How can we do this? You know, can I make money? do I have to go out and buy these big equipments, or big mowers, and I don't have the money for that. I don't have a place to store it. I don't have a garage. I don't have a storage unit. I don't want that expense. I'm just starting out. Depending on what your goals and aspirations are, you can do what I just did this week. You can do it. I did it, so you can do it. So yes, you can go out with the basic equipment and you can make easily on your own a couple $100 a day as you build your business up. You can do it. Let's say you are an established business and you're like me. Let's say you got a 0 turn or a 36-inch walk behind, or you got something going on and it gets stolen. It gets broke. Your trailer gets in an accident and it gets damaged. Something happens where it's just you, and now what are you going to do? You lost your machine. What can you do? So you can get out there with a push mower and you can continue your business as there's things that you can do. You can rent big machines. You can do whatever you got to do. But the point of this series is I want you to see that you can make a living. Now, it's not a competition, all right? Again, I keep saying this, and people are making comments that, oh, no thanks, I'd rather, okay, I get that. But this isn't a what you'd rather do. This series is for the new people just starting out, or don't give a crap about big stuff, don't have the money, don't have the credit, don't have, big fancy equipment. They work out of the back of their truck or out of the back of their SUV, and all they have is a push mower. Maybe they have a full-time job, maybe they have a part-time job, maybe they're retired military, maybe they're retired law enforcement, maybe they're on disability, maybe they're just trying to get a little bit of money. What can you do? You could do this. You could go out with this little push mower and you can make some money. You can make a couple $100 in a day. You can make a couple $100 in a week, right? You can make $100 a day. So you could do it. Now the next question is expenses. What did it cost this week? Not even 4 gallons of gas in all my equipment, including the mower. Not even 4 gallons of gas. So we did 57 yards this week. 57 customers got service this week. And we did not use 4 gallons of gas between the weed eater, the edger, the blower, the hedge trimmer, and the mower. All of it. All 5 pieces of equipment. We didn't even use 4 gallons of gas. At $2 a gallon, we didn't even spend $8. But it's marine gas, so we did. But if you don't use marine gas, if you just use regular pump gas and you're paying $2 a gallon or whatever it is, I think here we're paying like $1.90 something right now. So $2 a gallon. Didn't even cost me $8 in gas to go and make just over $2,200. And then in my truck, my needle went from three quarters full to about a quarter full. So I used a half a tank, which it's not a 36 gallon thing. I think my truck holds 18 gallons. So 9 gallons in my truck all week long, including some personal driving. Can you complain? Really? Seriously, can you complain? Might have used 12 gallons of gas between my mowers, my mower, all my equipment, and my truck. So 12 gallons of gas total at $2 a gallon. So 25 bucks, maybe $25 in fuel, and the business created $2,200 in revenue with the push mower. So and I'm not braggadocious here. I'm not trying to be a douche or anything like that. I just want you guys to start seeing the picture outside the box that everybody tries to paint. Okay, you can make an ass load of money if you're willing to get out there with your feet and a push mower and do it. You can do it. You can make more with bigger machines, of course you can, but with it comes expenses and all of that crap. So that's for you to decide down the road if you want to grow. That's not what this is about. It ain't a competition. This is simply, and I got it. I got the 0 turn. I got the trailer. I got, whatever. I just chose to do for 2 weeks what we're doing because I want to show you guys that you can do it. You can get out there with just this mower, your basic equipment, and you can make a living and you can support your family. We're going to move into week 2 here shortly, and we're going to start it off with some maintenance tomorrow. I got to weld the deck on my mower. We'll talk about that tomorrow in tomorrow's video. We got to do some oil changing. We'll do it all on video. We'll grease it up. We'll sharpen the blades. We're going to grease up the weed eater, the edger, the hedge trimmer. We're going to take care of maintenance because we got another kick-ass week. We're going to move into Q&A. So like I said, we got like 19 or 20 questions, so I'm going to read them right off my computer screen here, and you guys can read along. I'll put them right above my head, but we're going to try to move along here kind of quick, so this isn't too long. Like I said, we got like 19 or 20 of them, so let's get through it. So right now, James Brown, loving the vlog. Have you ever seen the Pro Edger? I have not. Looks kind of cool. Ever considered using it? I have not. Are you using the bleach mixture on your concrete jobs? I don't use bleach on concrete, so that should answer the rest. You know, you want to know about dwell time for bleach on concrete and stuff like that. I just use pressure with my surface cleaner on concrete grounds. If it's brick walls, I just use pressure from the pressure washer with a white tip or a yellow tip. I don't use bleach on the concrete because I'm just going to beat the shit out of it anyway, so I'm not really too worried about it. Everything that I've encountered so far comes off with using just using pressure. Have I put bleach on it? Yes, inadvertently. Brick on the bottom, vinyl up top. If I'm bleaching up here, and then I bleach the brick too, because I want to make sure that it all gets the same, shade in case there's any discoloration in any way, shape, or form. I want to make sure it equally discolors so it's not noticeable and it's not like spotted. So hopefully that answers your question, James. No, I don't use bleach on concrete. And no, I have not seen the Pro Edger. Okay, this isn't a question, but this is from Mr. Gentry. Good job getting it done, Dan. The more you do, the less it bothers you. Right off the bat, it is a shock to your system, but that will leave in a short time. And he was right. Tuesday, at the end of the day, I was pretty sore. Hot bath was definitely needed. Wednesday, I was pretty sore, but it wasn't as bad. Thursday, I felt really good, and Friday, I'm fine, and here it is. I'm fine. I'm not sore at all. I don't feel any different than if I just ran. But I know not to go run this weekend because of all of the walking, all of the work I'm doing on my feet, and the heavy sweating that we're doing. We had record heats this week. I'm not stupid. Live to fight another day. I'm getting a lot of cardio with the mower, so all good there. But you're right, Mr. Gentry, and it is getting easier. HHKK. Why do you make two sections? Why not just cut it all together? Comment back. So what he's talking about is you'll see sometimes when I'm mowing, whether I'm on my zero turn or I'm on using my push mower, if I have a big area to do, I'll cut the middle out first, okay? And then I'll cut in. And what I'm doing is I'm moving the clippings into the middle where I just mowed. And the reason why I do that is so when I go back over to chop up the clippings and do a final mulch of all the clippings, like if I'm side discharging, then I don't have to worry about cutting the grass at the same time as mulching the clippings that I blew into the middle. So it's not really that I'm making two sections, it's just I'm giving the clippings a place to go. Because by the time you get to the middle with all your clippings and you got grass to cut, you're really bogging down your mower. So cut the middle out real quick, lay the clippings in the middle, mulch the clippings up. Too easy. That's why I do that. Andrew Vlogs. By the looks of it, is that mower pretty slow? It starts off pretty fast, and by the end of the day, it's much slower. Might have something to do with me getting tired. But no, that mower actually is pretty quick, but I mean, you can only mow as fast as the conditions. You know what I'm saying? So I noticed that the grass doesn't look as tall and as thick on video as it is in real life. So you gotta kind of listen to the motor more than watch the speed. And if you hear that motor starting to slow down a little bit, you'll know that I have to slow down because I'm cutting some thick stuff. But it actually goes pretty quick. I'm hustling when I'm done. You can hear me breathing like, because I'm moving on, the belt probably could stand to be replaced pretty soon. So I am helping it along. But no, it moves pretty quick for for what it is. It moves pretty quick. Now it's not as fast as like a snapper. Them snappers that have that disc with the disc drive, those things haul ass. They're ridiculous. Charles Purnell. So what about 12% bleach, Dan? 10% is not getting homes clean in North Carolina. I have to go over 2 times or have to pressure off, not soft wash. And how much soap? Okay, I put about an ounce of dish soap per gallon of bleach that I put in my chemical tank. 12% bleach, you gotta dilute it. because it will kill the grass, it will kill the plants, it will cause a lot of damage to the surrounding grass and stuff like that. That's why I choose really not to use the 12%. And it's such big, I have to buy it, here I have to buy it in 600 pound, 55 gallon drums. And it's what a pain in the ass. Look, if your stuff is really, really dirty, sometimes you have to apply 2 coats. I mean, that's all I can, I don't know, what more I can say, but sometimes you have to apply 2, depending on the material that you're doing it on. You didn't mention if you're doing this on vinyl or what. Now, I've encountered some homes where, you pressure wash all the algae and all that comes off with just soft washing with the bleach, but there'll still be like a film of like just dirt, and you gotta use some pressure. I get that. I don't use pressure. Good morning, son. Get yourself some orange juice. I don't use pressure on vinyl. I will not use pressure on vinyl. I'll put a second coat on of bleach, and I haven't had a problem. So just go slow, have patience, and some jobs are going to be that bad. Alex A, how far out do you travel? What is the farthest you're willing to go? How many miles? I keep a pretty tight route. The furthest I drive in one direction is about 10 miles, and I have 7 yards in that neighborhood. The furthest out I go the other way is about 8 miles, and I have 5 in that neighborhood. Then the furthest out I go in a different direction is about 7 miles, and I have 1 in that area. But they're the senior citizen couple that I greatly enjoy doing, and I have 1 on the way to them. So it kind of breaks it down a little bit. But I don't want to drive more than 10 miles, and I really want to build a route if I do that. I've passed up work that is beyond the neighborhood, and they're like, really? I'm just up at the next one? I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I don't go that far. So that's a lot of discipline that I keep, because I don't want to chase it. And I tell them, look, what are you paying now? And they're like, well, I'm paying 40. I'm like, okay, well, you'd have to pay me 60 because of the time I'm going to lose driving up to you and driving back with a guy sitting shotgun. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, see, so get somebody that's in your neighborhood already and they can charge you 40. I don't want that. Now, if I want to go blanket that neighborhood with advertising, with business cards or yard signs and build it up, then okay, I might say to her, $40, and then when I'm there, I'm going to start building in that area. But I just don't really have the time to grow my business in other neighborhoods. I'd rather just build them in the neighborhoods I'm already in. Justin F, this one's pretty big. When you're giving quotes, do you always quote full service? Mow, weed eat, edging, and blowing? Yes. Usually it always includes that. Always. I have some customers who always want a cut, no weed eating. And I find myself taking more time to cut closer to their obstacles to make it not seem so ratty, but I hate how a yard looks after I cut it, and they don't want me to trim it up. I don't know if you run into this issue at all. Yes, I had one customer like that for last season and most of this season, and they just moved away. They were renting the house. They didn't want it edged. They didn't want it weed eated. They didn't want it blown off. All they wanted was it mowed. And man, I hated doing it, and y'all commented on it. You've seen it. I got it in past videos. You guys are like, why didn't you blow it off? At least blow it. Nope. I'm like, you want me just to mow your yard? And like, yep. I'm like, okay, well, I'm here. I'll run down there. I'll mow your yard once every 2 weeks. When I do this one, $30. Because it was a pie-shaped yard. I'm like, $30, I'll mow it, and that's it. You go back, you do what you want to do. And he was like, yep. I was okay. So that's what I did. I didn't like it. I didn't like doing it either. I felt kind of ratty. I didn't even want to put my truck and trailer in front of that house. I didn't want anybody to see me. So I was up the street with a yard already. I'd run my zero turn down there. I'd mow that yard up, and I'd run my zero turn back and get the hell out of Dodge. I didn't like it. Mufasa Mows. Hi, this is just a suggestion. Time lapse in all capital letters. So he's talking about the mowing where I do like Nerd Alert. All right, Mufasa, check it out. You have the ability to advance. So when I put Nerd Alert and I put in there for the next 9 minutes, or I put 8 minutes or 10 minutes, you can advance the video 8, 9, 10 minutes. If I time lapse it, they can't slow the video down and watch what they want to watch. So pleasing you doesn't please the masses. Okay, So I get it. I know what time-lapse is. There is time-lapse in my channels with other things. So if I time-lapse mowing, I take away from everybody else that enjoys just watching the mowing, listening to the mower and stuff like that. So if you don't like watching the mowing, advance the slider bar. Too easy. But thank you for your comment. Tim Kenyon, hey Dan, have you ever thought about getting a Facebook likes page so we can share our crap with you? I do have a Facebook page, and it is facebook.com/D for Dan's Daily Vlog. There it is. Okay? Capital D for, and then it's Dan's Daily Vlogs. So Dan's Daily Vlogs, Carl Stovall. You're spot on with not mixing friends with business, and are you having to sharpen the blade on the push mower after each day? Yes, I do. I sharpen the blade because, 10, 12 yards and it's thick summer grass right now, might as well. Takes no time at all to sharpen that blade and put it right back on. That's another great thing about having just that little push mower. It's just one blade to sharpen. It's super easy with a wrench. Take that blade off, sharpen it real fast, put it back on. I mean, literally 4 or 5 minutes can save you so much grief during the day. It mulches so much better. And then on Friday we put a brand new blade on. Friday? Yeah, Friday we put a brand new blade on, and it was like a steak knife through hot butter. It's beautiful. So yeah, I do. And yeah, you never mix friends in business. Never. Mr. Ryan Knaus. K-A-N-A-U-S-S. Check him out. Hey Dan, I'm 12 years old and you inspired me to start a business, and now I'm making $100 a week. Thanks for the great vids. Dudes, 12 years old and he's making $100 a week. Tell me that's not amazing. When I was 12 years old, I used to mow my yard in my neighborhood, my dad's yard that I lived at, and a couple yards in the neighborhood. And I made a little bit of money too. And that was my start. And by the time I was 16 years old, my father let me go out with a couple $1,000 I had in the bank, and he let me go and get my own Toyota pickup truck. It was a 4-speed, it was red. I put a camper topper type little deal on it, and I had a push mower and the basic equipment right in the back there, and I used to drive it to high school, and I had all my lawn equipment in the bed of the truck, and I kept the door closed and locked. And after school, I'd go to my customers and I'd change real fast, and then I'd mow lawns. After school, I'd be mowing lawns. And I had my business when I was 16 years old. I was doing it. Before that, my mom used to drive me around, and in the back, I had the mower and stuff in the back trunk. And my mom and dad or whoever, somebody would drive me to my uncle's house. Well, it was my mom's uncle's house, and I'd mow yards there, and I had yards in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And, it worked. We made money doing it. Anthony Dufresne, Dan, you're doing a great job with the push mower. I do prefer the cut of a push mower. It looks so much better. I noticed some yards have brown spots. Has it been not raining there? Enjoy the time with your kids and be safe. Yeah, it's been pretty dry here, man. It's been really dry and really hot, actually. So yeah, we are getting some brown spots. Moving right along, we just got a few more left. Mr. Gentry commented, a guy can mow one next to you with a 60-inch mower, get done head on, and his customer come to you after seeing what you did with a push mower, ask you how much you would charge them, and gain a client off the difference in how the job looks when you are leaving compared to what they were just left with. Actually really happened this week for me. So it sounds to me like Mr. Gentry went out there, kicked ass with a little mower, showed up what a big old mower could do, and the customers came home and said, I kind of like your work, Mr. Gentry, better than that big old mower. And he got hired. People will say, oh, you got to look more professional, you got to have big this, you got to have signs this, you got to do that, you got to, whatever. No, you don't. You just have to do a damn good job. You got to be personable with the customers, do a damn good job, shake their hand, and I tell you what, you grow your business. Good job, Mr. Gentry. Johnny Moe asked what kind of snake killed the dog. So we talked about on Friday's video that went up Saturday morning. I was standing in the backyard and I said I mow back here because of the pond. And what happened was, it was like during the winter months, which we don't have crazy winters here, so snakes aren't as dormant here as they are maybe up in the north. And so when spring rolled back around, my customer was like, hey, come on, I want to show you something. And I went over there and she's like, you see this pond? Can you make sure the grass gets cut all the way down? my dog died and the vet said a snake bit her, or bit him. And I never asked what type of snake it was. I assume a water moccasin because that pond is right there. But I mean, I don't know. We've seen rattlesnake skin. We got water moccasins. We got a few different types of poisonous snakes here. So I don't know. I didn't ask. I'm not a snake person. I hate them. Anything that can move and swim without legs is definitely the devil. Connor Steed asked, sorry if I just didn't hear it, but how come you're using a TB360 and not the Gravely? Is it wet out or question mark? No. Just doing a video series, just showing people that you can get out there and bust ass, kick ass, and make cash. Good old Geek the Freak. With just a push mower. So, that's all. The Gravely will be back out in a couple of weeks. We'll be back out mowing. Darwin W wants to see an oil change video on the TB360. Coming right up. It'll probably be tomorrow. Photo Imagination wants to know, why don't you get a bigger mower? I got one. But I think by now we've beat that up already. And Justin F. Dan, I only hope to have as many accounts as you. I have great commercial equipment, only started my business a week ago and already landed 2 good jobs. 1 commercial and 1 residential. And hopefully word of mouth will spread. I would love to have multiple accounts on the same street like you do. Are neighbors hearing about you from word of mouth, or are you advertising on those same streets? Awesome channel, Dan. Well, thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. Word of mouth is huge. In fact, I just read an email in between me resetting my camera. I just read an email from a customer that's moving into a neighborhood that said that she saw on the Homeowners Association website a lot of customers are recommending me, so she would like for me to talk to her. She'd be moving in here shortly from wherever. And so word of mouth is huge. Being on like HOA websites, people recommending like through that is really big. Like on Facebook pages and stuff for HOAs is really big. So you could always ask your customers, hey, you know, if you like what we're doing, please, you know, if you have a HOA Facebook page or something, maybe you could spread my business. You know, something like that is big. But my biggest thing was the way I put business cards out in neighborhoods. And then when I'd be in that neighborhood working, I'd have a yard sign sitting up in the back of my truck. And I'd put a yard sign at the entrance, their main entrance in the morning, and pick it up when I'd leave so it wouldn't get stolen. Okay, I would recommend that you check my playlist. It's called Tips to Grow Your Business Fast. And I got 5 videos in there, and it talks about how I used my marketing strategies to grow my business. So it's Tips to Grow Your Business Fast. That's a good video series. Lionheart asked this, and this is really big. On so many other videos I've watched, people say don't shoot from a downward angle, but they are also a little closer than you are and are mostly shooting almost directly upward. So I think what he's talking about is don't shoot from a downward angle. I think he means don't shoot up, because it'll lift the vinyl off the house, like it'll rip the vinyl off. My question is, if you stand back where you are about 10 feet and shoot it at a little bit of an arc, then clean from the top down, it's then alright to shoot a downward angle. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know, and I don't want to not answer this question because he put a lot of thought into it. My thought is instead to get up on a ladder and basically shoot the stream perpendicular, then clean top down. But thinking about it now seems inefficient, especially if the way you are doing it is not going to shoot water in between the siding, but it would spare me from repositioning the ladder a lot. Alright, Lionheart. Go back to my pressure wash business videos and watch me work the pressure washer. Watch, you know, the stream, how I shoot it. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but you put a lot of thought into this question and comment, and so I didn't want to just gloss it over and not answer it because I don't understand it. So I want to make sure that you go back to my pressure wash business videos playlist and watch those videos and watch how I work. I shoot up, I let it arch down, I don't care, I'm not worried about it. The vinyl is not closed, it's closed. You're not shooting under vinyl. Now if you go with high pressure, yeah, you can rip the vinyl off, but you're not shooting under vinyl. It's closed. You know what I mean? You're not, there might be little pinholes here and there, but you're not loading up shooting under vinyl. Now, if you're soft washing with the black tip or the pink tip, you're not hitting it harder than a garden hose. So you're not going to do any damage. I mean, you can get pretty darn close to it and get it. Now, I wouldn't use the pink tip, the second floor tip, or second story tip, up close, because that's going to be some pressure coming out of that. But if you're shooting it up, by the time it gets up there, it's not hitting it any more than what a garden hose would hit your car. So you're not going to damage. So it really doesn't matter what your angle is. So I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Just go back and watch them videos. Soft wash. Don't use pressure tips. Don't use white, yellow, red, green. Don't use those tips. Use the pink tip to get high. Use the black tip to stay close. And it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Now, if there's an issue with the vinyl where it's not installed correctly, there's nothing I can do for you there. Just, you know, they're going to have rain damage anyway. So, I don't know. Come back with another, be a little bit more specific if you want, with a specific question. And I'll try to answer. So, but thank you. I know your question is important. I just don't understand it. All right. Alright, so that ends Q&A. That's our week in review. We busted out over $2,200. Hopefully I answered most of your questions. I'm good. I'm healthy. I'm looking forward to another kick-ass week. And I really appreciate you guys. You guys seem to be loving this series. So we're going to do it again. And I already got plans for a new series that's going to complement this series. So stick around. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I got some awesome playlists about building your business, awesome playlists about pressure washing, awesome playlists about restoring old rusty tools, some stuff about my history. There's some really good stuff. I hope you guys can get to know me and check out the links below. I got links in there to all the tech stuff I use to make these videos. Edger blades, parts from my Troy BILT, the stuff that you can get on Amazon, all that stuff is right there. So if you're a Troy BILT kind of guy and those are the mowers you got, I got links that'll get you to the companies that have parts for Troy BILT, MTD. They're the same machine, so same company. So go ahead and check out them links below. Hopefully that'll help you guys out. You won't have to do so much searching. And as I find things that I'm buying, I'm putting them in those links. So you can come to me, you can come to my channel, you can say, oh yeah, let me check Dan's channel. He probably has a link to that. And then boom, there you go. I can get you right to your part that you need. So just ask me, I'll find it for you. And I'll link to it if you need me to.
I'm hungry.
Okay, buddy. You want some toast?
What?
You want toast?
Sure.
Okay. So let me get my son some breakfast. It is almost 11 o'clock. They just woke up. Well, he just woke up. And that's it. That's going to close out this week. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow.